Good morning, students. I am Ravinder Kaur from Government Polytechnic, Amritsar. Today, I am going to deliver a lecture on highway engineering, and my today's topic is hill roads. So, students, my today's topic will cover the problems faced in design, in construction, and the maintenance of the roads on hills. Students, have you ever visited a hill station? If you have visited a hill station, then you will surely understand the challenges, the difficulties faced while constructing roads in hilly areas. So, first of all, let us see that what hill roads are. As it is very clear from the name, hill roads are those roads which are constructed in hilly areas or areas of high altitude such as Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, etc. So, in other words, or technically we can say that a hill road is one which passes through a terrain with a cross slope of 25% or more. Cross slope, you understand, students, what is cross slope? When you are on plains, there definitely there is a slope, but that runs longitudinally along the length of the road. If you have studied highway engineering, then you must know that what is the longitudinal gradient, a slope which runs longitudinally. There is a rising gradient, there is a falling gradient, we call them ascending gradient or descending gradients. But here in hill roads, there is a cross slope. There is a slope which is in a perpendicular direction to the length of the road. So, that is called cross slope, and if that cross slope is more than 25%, then we classify that road as a hill road. So, a hill road is one which passes through a terrain with a cross slope of 25% or more. So, the design, construction and maintenance of these roads is quite difficult. Special care should be taken in the design and construction of the hill roads, as these are more dangerous and sometimes prove fatal to the traffic during road accidents. So, my today's topic deals with the problems faced while constructing roads in hilly areas and different elements to be considered while constructing these roads. So, first of all, we should discuss the important terms related to hill roads. So, first term is bridle path. So, what is a bridle path? So, the path used by pedestrians and animals such as horses, donkeys, etc. in hilly areas is called bridle path. Student, this is not possible that we are not able to construct main roads or metal roads everywhere on hills. So, to connect the inner parts of the valleys or inner parts of the mountains and forests, we have to construct some other paths which are called bridle path, and these paths connect the villages and the homes of the people to the main roads. So, these paths are generally used by the pedestrians and horses and donkeys, the animal packs and they use this path to reach the main road. So, this is called Bridle path. Second term is hairpin bend. So, as you have read in your highway engineering that on roads the curves are very important. The curves are generally used to change the direction of the road. So, hairpin bend is one of that horizontal curve which is used on hill roads. So, any hill road is incomplete without a hairpin bend, and hairpin bend changes the direction of the road at 180 degrees. So, as is very clear with the name of the bend, that is it has got the shape of hairpin. So, when the shape or alignment of a road in a bend is like that of a hairpin, the bend is termed as hairpin bend. So, while negotiating a hairpin bend, a driver should be very careful, students. Why? Just to avoid accidents. Hairpin bends or curves are unavoidable on hill roads. You have to provide it somewhere or the other. So, hairpin bend is generally provided on hillside where slope is less and alignment is stable and safe. So, hairpin bend, as I already told you, changes the direction of the road through 180 degrees. So, now we will talk about the corner bend. So, as I told you that curves are very important on hill roads. So, what is a corner bend? Along with hairpin bend, the other type of curve that we provide on hill roads is corner bend. So, bend which has got its convexity on the outer edge of the road or at the ridge of hillside, if it is convex outwards, or it has got its convexity on the outer edge of the road or at the ridge of the hillside, then that bend is called corner bend. So, if the side of the hill contains ridges and valleys, then salient curve and re-entrant curve are provided as shown in this figure. So, here is the diagram. You can see that this bend, we will negotiate this bend like this. So, this is a hairpin curve. Just see, it has got the shape of a hairpin which generally ladies use for tying their hair. So, this hairpin bend is changing the direction of the road through 180 degrees. And throughout this bend, there are parapet walls. These are parapet walls that will save the vehicle from falling into the khud. So, this is hairpin bend. Then this is the corner bend. Corner bend, you will negotiate the curve like this if you are going uphill. Then again this is the parapet wall. At most difficult part of the bend, there is parapet wall which will save the vehicle from falling down. Then here comes I was telling you about the salient curve and re-entrant curve. So, this salient curve is like this. This is convex outwards, then this is concave outwards. Look at this surface, this is concave outwards. So, the curve which is concave outwards is called re-entrant curve, and the curve which is convex outwards. You can see here, this is called salient curve. So, most part of the roads in hills, they are made like this. They have salient curves and re-entrant curves. So, these are three curves. First is hairpin bend, then there is corner bend, then there is salient and re-entrant curves that generally these curves are used on hill roads. So, third important term is retaining wall. So, the wall which is built to resist pressure of filling and traffic load in case of hill roads is termed as retaining wall. It can be constructed in dry stone masonry, brick masonry or cement concrete. So, these are constructed on valley side to retain the backfilling and to prevent sliding. So, retaining walls are provided where generally hill road crosses a drain. The section of the road is partly in cutting and partly in filling, where re-entrant curve is provided. So, in all these cases, retaining wall is generally constructed. So, students, what do you think? Retaining wall is built to retain the natural earth or retain the filling, because on hills the cross section of the road the road is constructed either by cutting or partly by cutting and partly by filling or totally by cutting. So, whenever the road is constructed partly by filling and partly by cutting, then this retaining wall is used to protect or to retain the filling section. And if it is constructed fully by cutting, then this retaining wall is used to retain the slope of the hill. So, hill roads, whenever the hill road crosses a drain, retaining wall becomes a necessity over there. And also somewhere where re-entrant curve is provided and slope of the hill is not very stable, at that place also retaining wall can be built. So, this is the diagram. You can see that this is the retaining wall, here is the retaining wall, this is down slope, this is the upper hill slope. So, this is the section of the road, this is the road. There are other things also. You can see the drain here, this is a drain. You can see a scupper here. This is also a type of drainage work on hills. Then this is the retaining wall. This is the retaining wall. This is constructed here to retain the pressure of the road and to retain this filling, because this is a section of the road which is constructed partly in cutting and partly in filling. So, this is retaining wall. So, next important term is pressed wall. So, the stone wall constructed to protect the slope of cutting in natural ground from sliding due to the action of weathering agencies, especially water, is termed as breast wall. These walls are constructed with a front better of 1 in 2 and a back slope of 1 in 3. These walls are provided on the inner side of the road to support loose and unreliable soil particles and prevent landslides. Random rubble stone masonry is used for walls of height less than 2 meters, but if the height is more than 2 meters, bottom 2 meters are constructed in cement mortar of ratio 1:6. And weep holes are also provided for drainage purposes, so that the water coming down the slope of the hill does not accumulate on the wall itself. It should come down on it, go to the side drain. So, weep holes are provided for that drainage purposes. So, as we have seen in this diagram that this was retaining wall and this was breast wall, which is constructed on the upper side of the slope just to retain this part of the slope. So, this is called breast wall and this is called retaining wall. So, next important term is parapet wall. So, what is a parapet wall? A short wall constructed all along the valley side of the road. If you have visited a hill station, then you must know that what parapet wall is. Generally, whenever parapet wall is built on the road, we feel safe, isn't it? So, parapet wall is a short wall constructed all along the valley side of the road and above the retaining wall where the hill slope is steep, to prevent the vehicular traffic from falling down the slope into deep khuds or ravines is known as parapet wall. Thus, for the safety of the traffic, parapet walls are provided on the outside of road at hairpin bends and straight reaches of the roads where there is a likelihood of danger and accident. If the slope is gentle, these may not be provided. So, basically parapet wall are meant for safety of the vehicular traffic. Like in this diagram, you can see that this is the breast wall, this is your retaining wall and this is the parapet wall. So, parapet wall is constructed all along the valley side. This is the valley side of the road. On the retaining walls, if their retaining walls are built on the road, then parapet walls are built on the retaining walls, and if retaining walls are not there, then parapet walls are built along the side of the road. So, this is parapet wall. So, we have talked about breast wall, then parapet wall, and I have told you that if the slope is gentle, then parapet walls may not be provided. So, next important term is scupper. Basically, scupper is a type of drainage system that is used in hill roads. This is the underground drainage work. So, it is a small culvert of low cost or simply a cross drain made of coarse rubble dry masonry to facilitate drainage of water across the hill roads. Generally, 8 to 10 scuppers per kilometer of hill road are provided, in addition to regular bridges and culverts. Hand-packed stones are placed everywhere on the top and around the scupper, and retaining walls are provided on both ends. So, scupper is a type of drainage system, and in the diagram that I have already shown you, in that diagram you can see that this is a scupper. This is a scupper. In fact, this is a catch water drain, catch water pit. This is a side drain, The water from the hill slope will come here through a weep hole, and also the water from the road itself, road surface will come here like this. It will flow here like this. Then there is a catch water pit. In fact, along this roadside, along the length of the road, some slope is provided to this drain, and finally the water falls into a catch water pit. So, from this catch water pit, the water is taken down the slope like this, so that this drain is not over flooded with water. So, to relieve the water from this drain, this type of drainage system is used, which is called scupper. So, basically this is underground drainage system. So, we have talked about scupper, which is generally provided 8 to 10 scuppers per kilometer of hill roads, in addition to the regular bridges and culverts. So, now we will talk about typical cross sections of hill roads. So, here you can see this is a cross section of hill road in cutting. You can see that this is the surface of the road, this is the carriageway, this part, and from here to here, this is the formation width. So, formation width has got the carriageway as well as the shoulders. On both sides of the carriageway there are shoulders. So, this whole width of the road is called formation width. So, this is spoil bank. So, what is a spoil bank? Basically, the material or the earthwork which is taken out from this part of the hill after cutting the section is dumped here. So, this part is called spoil bank. Basically, this is the material or the rock material or the earthen material whatsoever which we get from this part of the road after cutting. So, this is the upper slope of the hill, this is the upper slope of the hill, and the water coming from the upper part of the hill falls in this catch water drain, which is used to relieve the water from falling into this side drain. Otherwise, this side drain will be over flooded, water will run over the carriageway, and thus this carriageway will get damaged. So, to avoid that, this catch water drain is provided which catches the water coming down the slope of the hill. So, rest of the water which is not caught by this catch water drain falls into the side drain. So, cross section of a hill road in cutting. Here the slope is coming from the upper side of the hill and we have cut this part of the hill, this part of the hill to construct the hill road, and then here again the natural surface of the hill goes down. So, this is a typical section of hill road in cutting. So, hill roads in cutting are constructed when the hillside slope is very steep. The roads in cutting are generally constructed in half tunnels, as the roads through full tunnels are very costly. It is very costly. It is highly uneconomical to build tunnel at every section. So, these roads are in cutting are generally constructed in half tunnels which are open from above. They are called half tunnels. So, this was the cross section of road in cutting. Then we will talk about the cross section of hill road partly in cutting and partly in filling. You can see here that this part of the road, this is the road, this is the surface of the road. Just look at the arrow, this is the surface of the road, and this was the slope, original slope that was coming down like this, original slope of the hill. But for constructing this road, what we did? We did cutting from this part of the hill, and this part of the slope is filled to bring the road to this level. So, this is a section of the road which is partly in cutting. From this part there is cutting and at this part there is filling, and this filling is retained with the help of this retaining wall, and there is a parapet wall also, you can see. So, here this part of the road is constructed partly in cutting and partly in filling. So, hill roads are generally constructed partly in cutting and partly in filling. So, these types of hill roads are constructed when hillside slope is not very steep and cost of rock cutting is not too much. So, next is cross section of hill roads in filling. So, you can see here that this is the natural surface of the hill here. Look at the arrow, and this is the natural surface of the hill here. So, this is the cross section of road, this is the carriageway, there is a retaining wall on both sides and a parapet wall, and this is the cross carriageway, and this whole part, look at this whole part is filled, this whole part is filled with earthwork to construct the road. So, this is the cross section of a road in filling. So, cross section of hill road in filling, construction of hill road in embankment. We also call this, when you construct the road by filling, we also call it the road is in embankment. So, construction of hill road in embankment is very costly and generally should be avoided. So, this type of construction becomes necessary when a depression comes in between the road alignment. So, in this case, two retaining walls will have to be constructed, one on each side of the road. I have already shown you that these are two retaining walls.